Now, let us wind up the last session of my this classes with you all. I'm really I've enjoyed a lot because for the first time only I am teaching out of Hyderabad crash batch. So normally I've never taken out of Hyderabad crash batch. This is the first time I'm taking. Okay. Now, so what we need to do, we need to take one question. Yeah. Come to that question of business combination, then now you will understand the solution is given. What is the page number for business combination? 71. 71. This question number 66 I am expecting that is similar to what we have done operating lease wala question hai. Operating lease when acquiring is a lessee. So that question, so I am expecting that question of 5 marks. Then question number 67 is of asset acquisition. So this also you will be able to understand, read it. Then question number 68 also I am expecting. This is a question of DT and DTL. So you will understand with the solution. It is now you have understood DT and DTL on initial recognition that you can do it. Then question 69 I have done. Question number 70 also I have done. 71. 71 will do. This is a good question. Was given in last year RTB, last attempt RTB. H Limited acquired equity shares of H Limited, a listed company, in two tranches, two part. Two tranches means what? Two part. So they have done on 1st November 2016, 15%, and 1st Jan 2017, 45%. The shares were purchased based on the quoted price on the stock exchange on the relevant date. Correct? So it is a step acquisition. Step acquisition, correct? Both the above mentioned company have INR as functional currency. So both have what? Indian currency rupees. Correct? Consequently, H Limited acquired control over S Limited on this date. So of course we know 103 is applicable on this date. Consequently, H Limited acquired on 1st Jan. Following is the balance sheet of S Limited. So you can see they have given carrying amount and fair value on that date. So they have given carrying amount and fair value. So we want fair value and they have given fair value also. You can read the balance sheet. Other information what they have given. Property, plant and equipment in the above balance sheet include leasehold motor vehicle. Leasehold motor vehicle having carrying value of 1 crore and fair value of 1.2 crore. So fair value is 1.2 crore. The date of inception of lease was 1st April 2010. Some year 1st April 2010. On the inception of lease, S Limited had correctly classified a lease as finance lease. Means this is asset acquired under finance lease. However, if the facts and circumstances as on the date of acquisition are considered, means as on 1/4/2017 are considered, 1/4/2017, so this is 1/4/2017 are considered, the lease would be classified as an operating lease. But can we reclassify? No. So we cannot reclassify. It will be finance lease and this will become at fair value. This will be recorded at fair value. One answer you got. One answer you got. Following is the statement of contingent liability. So they have given some contingent liability also. Liability means lawsuit filed by a customer for a claim of 2 crore. For a claim of 2 crore. Correct? For a claim of 2 crore. Better I have the question also. For a claim of 2 crore, 0.5 is the fair value. It is not probable that outflow of resource embodying economic benefit will be required to settle the claim. So, but even though it is not probable, we will recognize or will not recognize? we will recognize. Any amount which would be paid in respect of lawsuit will be tax deductible. Means it is a tax deductible. So this point they have given to calculate tax base. Means you need to calculate DT and DTL also. DT and DTL also. Income tax demand of rupees 7 crore raised by tax authority as limited has challenged the demand in the court. So this is also contingent liability. 2 crore is the fair value. It is also not probable that an outflow of resource will be required. So but even though not probable, we recognize or not? We recognize. But can you see income tax is permanently disallowed? Permanently disallowed. Therefore, no deferred tax in this. This you know. So therefore, they have not given whether it is tax deductible. It will be always not tax deductible. Means this is permanently disallowed. Therefore, if you remember, tax base will be equal to carrying amount. Therefore, no difference will come. In relation to above mentioned contingent liability, S Limited has given an indemnification undertaking to H Limited up to a maximum of 1 crore. Means we need to recognize an indemnification asset of rupees 1 crore. Indemnification asset of rupees 1 crore. Rupees 1 crore represent the acquisition date fair value of indemnification undertaking. An amount which should be received in respect of the above undertaking shall not be taxable. Shall not be taxable. So it is permanently, it is not taxable, permanently exempt. So can I say no tax base? Tax base will be equal to carrying amount. I can say this is permanently not taxable. Correct? Yes, sir. The tax base of the assets and liability of S Limited is equal to their respective carrying value being recognized in the balance sheet. Well, the tax base of assets and liability of S Limited is equal to their carrying amount. Equal to their carrying amount. That is given in the question. Carrying value of non-current asset held for sale is 4 crore. Represent its fair value less cost to sell in accordance with relevant Ind AS. So fair value carrying amount of non-current asset held for sale, classified as held for sale, is 4 crore, which represents its fair value less cost to sell. So if you see, we have one non-current asset held for sale. Check करेंगे. We have what? One non-current asset held for sale. 4 crore is the carrying amount and fair value is 4.5 crore. तो बताओ, you recognize that 4 crore कि 4.5 crore? 4 crore. So it is not at fair value, it will be as per Ind AS 105. That also I have said. Yes, sir. In consideration of additional stake purchased by H Limited on 1st Jan 2017, it has issued to the selling shareholders one equity shares for every 2 shares held in H Limited. So they have given purchase consideration information. So they have issued equity share and the amount is what? The swap ratio is 1/2. Fair value of equity shares of H Limited is 10,000 per share. So fair value is 10,000 per share. On 1st Jan 2017, H Limited has paid 50 crore in cash to the selling shareholders. 50 crore cash to selling shareholders. So on 1st Jan 2017, they have also paid cash. So that will be also added. Additionally, on 31st March 2019, means 1890, means 2 years after, S Limited will pay 30 crore to the selling shareholders of S Limited if return on equity of S Limited for the year ended 31st March 2019 is more than 25% per annum. Means this is contingent consideration. Contingent consideration. H Limited estimated the fair value of obligation as on 1st Jan 2017 and 31st March 2017 is 22 crore and 23 crore. But what is relevant for PC? For PC, what is relevant? 22 crore. Fair value on the date of acquisition. Fair value on the date of acquisition. And subsequent recognition, if there is increase, decrease, if that is a financial liability, will be transferred to PL. Will be transferred to PL. The changes in fair value of the obligation is attributable to change in the facts and circumstances after acquisition date. Then they have given quoted price of equity shares of S Limited. This they have given for fair value of equity shares held, and fair value of NCI they have given. So on 1st November 2016, 1st Jan 2017 and 31st March 2017, they have given fair value on that date. So can I say on the date of acquisition that fair value is relevant? So the 350 and 470 is not relevant. Only on the date of acquisition 395 per share is relevant. On 31st March 2017 means on the immediate reporting date, H Limited learned a certain customer relationship existing as on 1st Jan 2017, which made the recognition criteria of an intangible asset as on the date. We are not considered during the accounting of business combination for the year ended 31st March 2017. Acha, I have not explained you this point. One point I was saying I will do at the end. That point I forgot it. Measurement period. That I will explain with this concept only. The fair value of such customer relationship on 1st Jan 2017 was 3.5 crore. Assume that there is no temporary difference associated with customer relationship consequently and there is no impact on income tax. Where there is no temporary difference, so ignore income tax on this. Thank you very much. On 31st May 2017 itself, H Limited further learned that due to additional customer relationship being developed during the period 1st Jan 2017 to 31st March 2017, the fair value of such customer relationship has increased to 4 crore. So this is due to what? Subsequent change. Subsequent change. This I will explain you. So this para and the previous para you once ignore. On 31st December 2017, H Limited has established that it has obtained all the information necessary for accounting of business combination and that information and that more information is not obtainable. Okay. H Limited and S Limited are not related party and follow Ind AS for financial reporting. Income tax rate is applicable 30%. You are required to provide your detailed response to the following along with reasoning and computation note. When they say reasoning and computation note, now this become dangerous because you need to write down reason also. Why we are doing so. Reason to means exam, what you are right, we know. The reason should be written in your own words and specific note. Don't elaborate much. Correct. So what should be the goodwill or bargain purchase to be recognized by H Limited in its financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2017? For this purpose, major NCI using proportionate share of the fair value of INA. So they ask you to use Pasina method, correct? Yes, sir. Will the amount of NCI goodwill or bargain purchase so recognized in a above change subsequent to 31st March 2017? If yes, provide relevant journal entry. So this is the point related to measurement period, which I have not done. So I will explain you. What should be the accounting treatment of contingent consideration as on 31st March 2017 that I have done? Any increase or decrease will be adjusted with PL. Okay? So very good question. One thing is clear. Very good question. Correct? Bolo. Very good question. Huh? Very big question. In exam, this page will be 6 page. This is to my page, so it has been given in 2 page. In exam, the same question will come in 6 to 7 page. They will use higher font, bigger font, and gap also in one line to another line will be much. So same question will be 7 page. They do so to increase phobia. So in exam, 4 page should be considered as 1 page. Correct now. Then the phobia will decrease. Correct now. So don't count number of pages in exam. I have seen student first to read acha 25 pages, acha 30 pages. Are what to every question need to be done now. Correct now. In 1 page they will give one para only. They use bigger font to only to increase the phobia. To be smart enough to understand their intention. Correct? Chalo. Now, so they have first asked what? They have first asked what? Goodwill or gain on bargain purchase. For that we want PC. PC what? Fair value of equity share issued. तो बताओ how many shares they have purchased in second acquisition? 45%. So 45% of how many share capital? So they have given how much share capital? 12. They have given 12 crore share capital. Check karo. In balance sheet 12 crore. Divided by face value. What is the face value? 100. So 12 by 100. 12 by 100 to we get number of shares. 12 by 100 means number of shares. So it is 0.12 crore shares. 0.12 crore shares into 45%. This much shares we have acquired. Now we have issued what? 1 by 2 shares means we have issued shares. In which ratio? If you are holding how many shares? 2 shares. You will get 1 shares. So 1 by 2. This is the number of shares issued. Number of shares issued into fair value of shares. So they have given 10,000 per share. 10,000 per share. Remember the question? 10,000 per share. So into 10,000, it become 270 crore. 270 crore. Then we'll take cash payment. Cash payment was 50 crore in the question. Cash, you have the question now. See, cash payment is 50 crore. Correct? And there was a contingent consideration. They have given fair value 22 crore. So what is the total PC? 342 crore. Understood? 342 is the total PC. Now we'll find out goodwill or gain on bargain purchase. But for this, we first want DT and DTL. For this, first we want DT and DTL. So let us first do the calculation of DT and DTL. So can I say we want fair value and tax base? We want fair value and tax base. So fair value is given in the balance sheet only. Check karenge PP they have given 90. Intangible asset they have given 30. Check from balance sheet. Then inventory they have given 350. Investment they have given 20. They have given now. Then trade receivable they have given 20. Non-current asset handled for sale will take 4 ki 4.5. Will take 4. Therefore I have taken 4. Cash they have given 4. Borrowing they have given 20. Trade payable 28. Correct? Understood? This P is what? I have also forgotten. Acha, this is provision, huh? Correct. So there was what? Provision for warranty is 3. Correct? Understood? And current tax liability 4. Why I am writing negative? Negative because this is liability, so we should deduct it. Then they have given 2 contingent liability that will be also recognized. Contingent liability A, what is the fair value? They have given 0.5. 0.5. And they have given contingent liability B. What is the fair value? 2. And then we need to recognize one indemnification asset. So indemnification asset, what is the fair value? 1. I think fair value understood. Correct. Tax base they have said will be equal to what? Carrying amount. So tax base check karo. PP is equal to carrying amount. Now I am taking carrying amount. Carrying amount. For intangible also carrying amount. For inventory also carrying amount. Then for inventory also carrying amount. For investment also carrying amount. Trade receivable also carrying amount. Non-current asset also carrying amount. Cash also carrying amount. Borrowing also carrying amount. Trade payable also carrying amount. Provision also carrying amount. And current tax liability also carrying amount. But for contingent liability A, they are saying this is tax deductible. But tax deductible in future when it is already, when it will be paid. So right now tax base is 0. Right now tax base is 0. So tax base 0 for this. Because that is tax deductible. But that will be deductible only when it is paid. Okay. For B, because this is permanent difference, so the tax base will be equal to carrying amount. So tax base equal to what? 2 only. Understood? Because that will be equal to this because no difference would come. And indemnification asset also they said this is not taxable. So permanently disallowed. So permanently disallowed. So tax base will be equal to 1. So therefore no difference. Therefore no difference. Correct? So you understood what? This fair value and carrying amount and tax base. Correct. Now we'll find out taxable deductible. So for a rule is what for asset carrying amount is more than tax base. So this you assume to be carrying amount, even though I'm adding fair value. So fair value will become carrying amount. So if carrying amount is more than tax base, this is taxable. If carrying amount is less than tax base, it is deductible. So that I have done. Then for liability rules is reverse. If carrying amount is more than tax base, deductible. If carrying amount is less than tax base, then taxable. So if carrying amount is more than, so it is deductible. Therefore, we will find out net taxable deductible, net taxable deductible, taxable temporary difference, TTD. On this, we'll apply tax rate. Tax rate they have given 30%. This become 92.85. This will be added to the fair value by INA. So this is what DTA, DTL, DTL. So we'll deduct it, deduct kiya. So what is the fair value by INA? 368.65. Once you understood, this is a question of 16 marks. Of course, we require more working. But once you understood, then it is not difficult. It's not difficult. So what is the fair value by INA? 368. So we'll go to goodwill calculation now. So but what is the fair value of consideration transferred? Already we calculated 342. Now we'll find out fair value of previously held equity interest. Previously held. So they were holding 15% of 12 crore. So 12 by 100 means 0.12 crore shares into 15% into current market price. Current market price they have given how much of S Limited? 395. So that becomes fair value of previously held equity interest. So that becomes 7.11. Then we write down Pasina of NCI. Pasina of NCI. So this is 60%. So we'll take 40% of INA. INA already we calculated. How much INA we calculated? 368.65. So it is 40% of 368.65. This NCI came. Then we'll deduct fair value of INA. That is 368.65. This become goodwill. Got. Out of 16 marks, you got what? How much marks you know? 10 marks. Because other two are very easy, very simple. They have asked goodwill, we have done. They have not asked journal entry, they have not asked balance sheet, they have not asked anything. If you know all the concept, you can do it. By reading, it was just like such a difficult question. But the answer is difficult. What do you think? Answer was difficult. Once difficult. Chalo, theek hai, first time you are doing difficult. But next time whether it will be difficult? No. So before exam you will do once now. So it will be easy only. Now one question I have left. That answer, point number B is dependent upon that. Now, that I need to explain you first. Measurement period. Measurement period. So that I need to explain you, then only you will understand. Otherwise you will not understand. Okay? Means देखो 1 point I left and from that only question asked. Means just try to understand. No point can be left. Correct now. 1 point will not do. They will ask question from that only. So in exam how we react? We react negativity. We react in a negative way now. When we react in a negative way, so we become less confidence. So do all points. If you forgotten now, so you are relaxed. Because there are 2 points, just try to understand. When you have not done only, when you have done forgotten, which is more negative? When you have not done. When you have done and forgotten now, in exam hall you know you not realize that you have forgotten. You are doing it. You are doing wrong. So you are not negative ray. You are doing something now. Chal theek hai. In exam there is not a time to understand. When you have not done, you will leave it full. When you have done it, forgotten, you will do something. You will think, acha, ye. You will try to react. So that is some positiveness. Some positiveness. Okay? Now, measurement period is what? Suppose this is the date of acquisition. And this is 31st March. And this is the date of approval of financial statement. Now sometime what happens, suppose this is only 1 month Now on this date you need to do valuation of all INA. You need to value PC, you need to value all other things. You need to go to competent valuer. Whether they will take 1 month, they will take more than 1 month, because there are many assets now, not one asset. So they will take time for valuation. So sometimes valuation report is not received immediately. Suppose 31st March over, and also this time came, approval time came, and you have not received valuation report. So you will not wait for valuation report now, because you need to approve your financial statement, because there is a deadline. So therefore Ind AS 103 has given one relaxation. बोला कि don't worry, you can prepare your financial statement on a provisional basis. Means apply 103 on a provisional basis. Means INA whatever fair value is required on a provisional amount you take. Are you getting? And calculate goodwill or gain or bargain purchase. But we'll give you 1 year maximum. How much year? 1 year. From the date of acquisition. 1 year. In this year, you need to find out relevant information for the facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition. And once you receive the information, you can adjust the amount of goodwill and amount of INA retrospectively. Retrospectively. Understood what I am saying? So they have given a measurement period of 1 year. During this measurement period, you can obtain new information of the facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition, and that you can change in this accounting, initial accounting, retrospectively. Means you can adjust the goodwill amount and INA amount retrospectively. Understood? But they have given only a maximum period of 1 year. Now suppose 1 year over, then also you have not obtained the information. Then any information which you are getting after this, that also you can adjust, but that will be considered as an error. And whenever error, to Ind AS 8 will be applied. Ind AS 8 also says retrospective restatement, but for that third balance sheet is also required, and third balance sheet with disclosures are also required. So this will be considered as an error. So any new information which is obtained after measurement period can be also adjusted, but that will be an error. Error means Ind AS 8. Ind AS 8 means what? Retrospective restatement, but with the third balance sheet as per the requirement of Ind AS 1. Are you getting what I am saying? But during this period, whatever new information you are obtaining, that you can adjust provisional, that can be adjusted with provisional amount with retrospective adjustment, correct? Without considering it as an error. Means if you are adjusting here, third balance sheet is not required. Third balance sheet is not required. Are you able to understand what I am saying? But I have used one word, कि new information whatever you are obtaining for the facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition. Suppose you obtain new information, but that was not for the facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition. That was new information for these facts. So whether that changes you can do? No. That is the subsequent information. Subsequent information about subsequent fact. So that you cannot adjust. For example, if I am giving, suppose there was one masonry, correct? This got fire यहाँ पर, agree? Fire. So if it got fire, so fair value will decrease, correct now? So this is new information, new fair value of which fact? Whether this fact of fire was here? No. So can you adjust this fair value on the date of acquisition? No, Baba, no. For this goodwill will not be adjusted. So what I am saying, whatever new information you have received, for what? Facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition. On the date of acquisition. Correct? Understood? Now let us read that point. You will now understand about customer wala point they have given. What they have given? This para. On 31st March 2017. On 31st March 2017 means on 31st May, sorry, 31st May means after reporting date. Acquisition date was 1/1. 31st March was reporting date. And they got some information on 31st May within maximum measurement period. Means within 1 year they got. Means they got the information during maximum measurement period. Correct? Understood? So on 31st May, H Limited learned that certain customer relationship existed. You have already said customer relationship can be accounted as asset if separately identifiable having a fair value. Correct? So customer relationship existed as on 1st Jan. Means this was existed on 1st Jan. Which made the recognition criteria of intangible asset. Means this is separately identifiable. What was the meaning of intangible asset? Intangible asset means identifiable, non-monetary, without physical substance. So they meet the definition of intangible asset. As on that date, we are not considered during accounting of business combination for the year ended 31st March 2017. It was not considered that time because that time we were not having this information. So can you adjust it? Yes, we can adjust it. Can you adjust goodwill amount? Yes, we can adjust the goodwill amount. Correct? The fair value of such customer relationship on 1/1 was 3.5 crore. So can I say INA will increase by 3.5 crore? Can I see if INA will increase by 3.5 crore? Goodwill will decrease by what? 3.5 crore. So your adjustment entry will be what? Customer relationship asset account debit to goodwill. How much? 3.5 crore. Understood? Correct? This point. What they have asked? Will the amount of NCI will change? No, amount of NCI will not change. Will the amount of NCI will change? Goodwill will change or NCI will also change because we have NCI also now. Sorry. So will the amount of NCI, goodwill or bargain purchase will change? Well, yes, it will change. So what will be jana entry? Batao. What will be jana entry for this? Batao. I have given you the answer for this also now. Answer is not given. Oh. I have written at then refer MTP May 2019 because answer was also very big. So to save pages I have written like this. Refer MTP May 2019. So what will be the jana entry for this? Okay. Jana entry will be customer relationship account debit to NCI 40% will be transferred to NCI. Correct? So NCI will increase because if INA will increase, so INA pasina method. So NCI will also increase to NCI 40% of this and balance will be what? Goodwill. Balance will be goodwill. Understood? Have you understood this point? Correct? Bolo. Asset will increase. So if asset will increase, so INA will increase. INA will increase, so NCI will also increase. So to NCI with 40% of this and the difference will be adjusted in goodwill. Difference will be adjusted in goodwill. They have given one more point. What was the point? Everyone. On 31st May, H Limited further learned that due to additional customer relationship being developed during the period 1st Jan to 31st May, means after acquisition they have developed more relationship. But can you say this too we are developing, this is self-generated. Can we recognize it? No. Self-generated intangible asset we cannot recognize. And this is what not related to facts and circumstances existed on the date of acquisition. Therefore, it cannot be recognized. And also, this is what due to self-generation, which cannot be accounted. I think this also you have understood. What should be the accounting treatment of contingent consideration as on 31st March 2007? So initially, we have recognized at what value? 22 crore. Correct now. Initially, we have recognized that 22 crore and they have given What they have given? They have given contingent consideration where? Yeah. 23 crore was on 31st March 2017. So 1 crore increase. 1 crore increase. So this will be debited to PL account. PL account debit to contingent consideration will do. PL account debit to contingent consideration, and this will be increased on reporting date because this is financial liability. How if it is equity instrument, then we will not do such changes. I think you have understood what? Full. Correct. Bolo. Have you understood? Correct. So with this, I have summarized all the points. All the points I have summarized, but only from examination point of view. Okay? To the extent what is given in SM, means I am not taught anything extra in this batch, matlab, right now. In class I said many things extra point, but that is not discussed in SM. Okay? Understood? Chalo. This also you have understood. So let us do fast what? India's 33. But थोड़ा सा I am reluctant to start India's 33. India's 33. ठीक है थोड़ा फास्ट करेंगे. Similar to AS20, but this will change only because of financial instrument chapter. Because the definition of equity change, correct now. And this is EPS earning per share. So earning per equity share and the definition of equity change. So therefore, थोड़ा सा we need to understand. So because financial instrument change, so therefore this calculation will change. ठीक है ना? You all know basic and diluted. That I am not going to say what is basic, what is diluted. Basic means what? Profit or loss attributable to ordinary equity shareholders of parent company divided by weighted average number of ordinary equity shares outstanding during the period. Formula is very easy. Correct. Listen. Now, the numerator and denominator. So what is numerator? What is denominator? So can I say this profit or loss? थोड़ा सा we need to understand. When we prepare SOPL, means consolidated SOPL. This I have not done in class because there is no question of consolidated SOPL and SM. One illustration has been given, but they will never ask this question from consolidation point of view. But as can I say, when I say consolidated SOPL, so we write down income of what? Parent and subsidiary both. Both will come now. Correct. Consolidated SOPL, the income of both will come. बोलना रही. Expense of parent and subsidiary will come. This will become profit tax. Then minus tax expense. This become profit for the period. So this profit will be attributable to whom? To the owner of parent company and to NCI. We write down in this a profit attributable to the owner of parent company and then profit attributable to NCI. This you have understood. Finally, after this we write down OCI. We write down OCI. OCI from different sources, and this will be also attributable to owner of parent company and what NCI. Then we write down total comprehensive income. So this is sum total of what? PL plus OCI. This will also write down attributable to owner of parent company and NCI. Correct? Understood. So when I am saying everyone, just try to understand. यहाँ पर profit or loss attributable to owner of parent company. Means this figure has been taken from what? SOPL. Exact that word I have written. Correct. But this is which figure? This is PL. कि PL plus OCI कि T total comprehensive income. PL. For OCI we don't calculate EPS. Therefore it is profit or loss. Profit or loss attributable to owner. When I say owner, so now there are two owner. One is the equity shareholder, one is other equity instrument. Means irredeemable preference shares is also owner, but they are not equity shareholders. Are you getting what I am saying? Redeemable preference shares, but they are equity shareholders ki other equity shareholders? Huh? Redeemable preference share capital, they are equity shareholders ki other? Very good. They are to liability. I say that this is what continuation of which chapter? Financial instrument chapter. इसलिए this chapter need to be understood. If I will teach overall, then to दिमाग खराब. But what happened now? Recently, whatever study material has been given by issued by ICI, they have given very good question. I think those who have done, they have understood also. 4 or 5 questions are a very high level question. So because of that reason, when you teach this chapter full, correct? But what we want, profit or loss attributable to ordinary equity shareholders. Means from SOP we will get profit or loss attributable to owner. But we want profit or loss attributable only to what? Equity shareholders. Means from this we should deduct something. So first we will deduct preference dividend, which is preference dividend for preference shareholders. But which preference shareholders? Equity instrument की liability. Huh? Preference dividend for preference share we should deduct. But which preference share? Which has been classified as equity, which has been classified as liability? Equity. Means I am not talking about financial liability. Means we are not discussing about redeemable preference share capital. We are discussing about those preference shares which are classified as equity. Correct? So there are two types of preference share. One is cumulative, one is non-cumulative. So for cumulative we'll deduct whether it is declared or not declared. Because one day we need to pay. But for non-cumulative we'll deduct only when it is declared. Because we know that once it is not declared, it will be permanently withdrawn. Therefore I have written preference dividend after tax. After tax means after CDT. So CDT will be also. For cumulative preference, whether declared or not declared. Less preference dividend after tax for non-cumulative preference only when it is declared. But which preference shares? Which are equity instrument? Correct? Yes, sir. Then we'll add or less any gain or loss on settlement of preference shares. Add gain less loss on settlement of preference share. Which preference share बताओ? Liability की equity? Liability की equity? We are talking about which one? All are equity. हाँ. Liability gain or loss so already transferred to PL, that is already in PL. Means any gain or loss on early settlement or settlement of what? Preference here which are classified as equity. So gain means what? Excess of carrying amount over fair value of consideration paid. For example, 1 lakh is what? Carrying amount you paid what? 90,000. So you are paid less, that become gain. And when you are paying more, that become loss. So that should be adjusted. Correct? Then less amortization of discount or premium on increasing rate preferences. This you leave. But why leave? No, we should not leave. Because one question is there in SM. So can I leave? No, no, no. But I need to explain you. So leave it right now for the time being. I will explain you with one question. Then less, this is the very interesting point. Any expense or loss adjusted against securities premium due to Companies Act or other reserve as per Companies Act which is otherwise adjusted against what? PL. If you have done Companies Act, you have done securities premium. And if you have done securities premium, you know for 5 purpose. Premium can be used. For what purpose? मैं लिख लेते हैं. अच्छा लिखा हुआ है. For fully paid up, bonus years. For writing off, preliminary expense. For discount on issue of debenture or underwriting commission paid. For writing off premium payable on redemption of preference shares or debenture. For loss on buyback of equity shares. Now can I say this though do not exist only? There is no discount account, there is no premium account, there is no loss account. This though days gone. Only what exists? Preliminary expense. Now as per Ind AS 38 means AS 26 whatever, this is charged to PL. But Companies Act says we can also charge to what? Premium account. We have never understood why. Means charging from capital. Or why? Any expense is expense charged from PL. There is no logic behind this. Without logic. Hai. If somebody has given you logic, that is bakwas logic. Correct? So it should not be charged to premium account. But can we use this point? Yes. Because Ind AS will Companies Act will prevail over Ind AS. Therefore, if you are charging against premium, then you need to what? Add back it. Deduct it. Less. So any preliminary expense which was deducted from premium, which could have been also charged to what? PL, will be deducted from PL for calculation of what? EPS. For calculation of EPS. Understood? Less expense or loss adjusted against securities premium or other reserve as per Companies Act, which is otherwise adjusted against PL. Only one example is their preliminary expense. So when they are giving preliminary expense, just try to understand you want to adjust it. Okay. This will be profit or loss attributable to what? Ordinary equity shareholders. I think all point you have understood. If I explain this, a given question you can do it. Means a given question you can do it now. Okay. Amortization of discount. Amortization of discount or premium on increasing rate preferences. So what is increasing rate preferences? Sometime what happened? Preferences provide a low initial dividend. Low initial dividend. Why? Because suppose ki I want to start and that project will become operative after 5 years. But I want fund right now because we are doing research and development. So I asked you, Sarji, will you give me fund? Bola, how much return? I said, initially though I can't pay you. After 5 years, 15%, don't worry. But correct only. Initially, how can I give you? My operation start after 5 years. Operation start after 5 years. Bolna rahe. Correct? Understood? So will you agree? You will not agree. But I will say, don't worry, I will give you discount. Understood? Means I will issue shares at discount. Understood what point? Then you will agree. 100 rupees shares, if I give you at 80, then you can be ready. Because you are giving 80 rupees right now, and you will earn some dividend which is at higher rate what? After what? 5 years. So if I issue shares at discount, you will be ready. You will do some permutation combination. You will find out market rate of interest, adjusted EIR, etc. If you are ready, you will give me amount. So preferences that provide a low initial dividend or zero dividend. To compensate an entity for settling, compensate the entity for selling means issuing the preferences at what? Discount. At discount. Understood? Or we may pay more than what? Market rate of dividend on later period to compensate the entity for purchasing preferences at what? Premium. If you are you able to understand what I am saying? So these are known as what? Increasing rate preferences. So whenever increasing rate preferences, then what need to be done? That I need to explain for this. I need to take one example. For this, I need to take one example. Because they have given one question in SM of this nature only. So I will not teach. This is a question which was given in SM that you can understand by your own. I am not doing this question. They have given reason also, you will understand. I will explain you this. Question number 2. ABC company issue 9% preference share of rupees of face value of rupees 10 each on 1/4/2001. 9%. Total value was 110 lakh. Their shares was issued at a discount of 0.5 each for a period of 5 years and will redeem at the end of 5th year. The shares are to be redeemed at 11 each. So redeemable at premium. To issue a discount, redeemable at premium. So some adjustment will be done with this with dividend. At the end of year 3, that is on 31st March. Acha, this is not the question. Sorry. I have taken wrong question. Where is that question? Question का. Acha, it is given in example. Sorry. The big chapter it is. This question. Example number 1. Entity issued non-convertible, non-redeemable. One is equity instrument. Non-convertible, non-redeemable. Correct? Understood? Non-redeemable means what? Equity instrument, irredeemable. Class A cumulative preference shares, rupees 100 par value on 1st Jan 2001. The Class A preferences are entitled to cumulative annual dividend of 7 per share, but starting from which year? 2004. Means after 3 years, 2001 no dividend, 2002 no dividend, 2003 no dividend, from 2004. At the time of issue, the market rate of dividend yield on the Class A preferences was 7%, 7% per year. Means the market rate of interest was 7%. Correct? Thus, the entity could have expect proceed of approximately rupees 100 per class A preference share if the dividend rate of rupees 7 per share has been in effect at the date of issue. Means if the dividend was given at the rate of 7 per share from the beginning, then the shares would have been issued at rupees 100 per class. Okay. In consideration of dividend payment terms, because 3 years there was no dividend. However, the class A preference share were issued at discount 81.63. So it was issued at discount. It was issued at discount. That is a discount of 18.37 per share. The issue price can be taken. The issue price can be calculated by taking the present value of rupees 100 discounted at 7%. So if you calculate a present value, so same amount will come. Means market rate of interest is 7%. They have issued at discount. They have issued at discount. Okay. Because the shares are classified as equity, the original issue discount is amortized to retain earning using the effective interest method and treated as preference dividend for earning per share purpose. This chhod do, abhi just try to understand. Because it is equity instrument, one thing is clear. So can I say whatever dividend you are paying, that will be transferred to PLK retained earning. It is equity instrument. Whatever dividend you are paying, that will be adjusted to PLK retained earning. Huh? Retained earning. And the date when it is paid, the day when it is paid. Means can I say 7 rupees 7 was paid from the 4th year. Means first year no dividend, second year no dividend, third year no dividend, fourth year dividend. So from 4th year retained earning will be deducted. Correct. Means first year no dividend, second year no dividend, third year no dividend. Well, this is wrong. Because this was issued discount, so there was some imputed dividend. There was some imputed dividend. What is that dividend? Means can I say 18.63 was the proceed received and market rate of interest is 7%. Correct. So we'll calculate dividend at 5.71. Means for accounting treatment we are not doing. Why? Because this is what not liability. If it would have been liability, then we would have done this way only. But for equity, we do not follow amortized cost. For equity, what we follow, whatever proceed received that become equity, dividend will be transferred retained earning only when it is paid. But for EPS calculation, they are saying calculate imputed dividend. Are you able to understand what I am saying? So it means if we calculate 7% of 81.60, that will come 5.71. And nothing dividend paid means this plus this minus what? 0 will be equal to this. Once again, this plus this plus this. And from this year onward, 7 rupees will be dividend and 7 rupees will be outflow. Then automatically the carrying amount will become 100. 100 plus 7 minus 7 is equal to 100. 100 plus 7 minus 7 is equal to 100. Correct? What they are saying, this will be considered as dividend for increasing rate preference years and for year 1 deduct what? 5.71 to calculate what? Profit or loss attributable to equity shareholders. Even though you are not recognizing this dividend. Understood? Level you understood? Therefore I was reluctant to teach. Why I was reluctant to teach, you understood? Because of this reason. Because this cannot be done in crash class. This can be done in open class. When I am easy, slow. 4 class I take for EPS. 4 plus 4 into 3, 12 hours. Understood? Because I know if I will say everything in fast, nothing will go. So it requires some time for understanding EPS. Because combination of all chapter na. EPS means after financial statement. So it means you need to know all Indias. There were 101, all Indias. There were these 2 chapters need to be done at the end. Need to be done at the end. So this is the point why I was reluctant for in 33 and India's 101. But I think thora you understood. Okay? Now, this was one major point which you need to understand. What is increasing rate preference years? But don't worry, in exam now they will give effective dividend. Whatever question they have given, they have given dividend, effective dividend, that you deduct. Correct? Deduct. So have you understood this formula? This become what? Profit or loss attributable to ordinary equity shareholders of parent company. Then, if you understood numerator, then we'll go to what? Denominator. Denominator is what? Weighted average. Denominator is weighted average. Correct. Now, weighted average, to the extent whatever you have done in IPCC is same. Means I will not go to the advanced point because they will not ask advanced question for weighted average. Now, weighted average, I think you have done for bonus shares from the beginning, and previous year EPS should be restated. You remember? Huh? Bonus shares. For normal share, you should have fair value from the date of issue only. Correct? Are you agreeing? For right shares, you used to calculate theoretical X right fair value. So that is same to same. That is same to same. Correct? Understood? Let us take some question based on this knowledge. Okay? Means what I will do? I will now explain you from what? India's? Nothing. If something is there, say me. Batao. Where is the page number for 33? One 06. Question number 94 that I am expecting. Whatever first I am expecting that I am doing. Question number 94. ठीक है? Participating preferences question is there. The entity has two class of shares in issue. 5,000 non-convertible preference shares and 10,000 ordinary shares. The preference shares are entitled to fixed dividend of 5 per share before any dividend are paid to ordinary shares. Correct? Ordinary dividend are then paid in which the preference shareholder do not participate. Correct? Each preference shareholders then participate in any additional ordinary dividend above rupees 2 at a rate of 50% of any additional dividend payable on an ordinary shares. Means they will participate in surplus profit. Participating means they will participate in surplus profit. The entity's profit for the year is 1 lakh and dividend of 2%, 2 rupees 2 per share are declared on ordinary shares. Correct? So that was fixed dividend. Compute the allocation of earning for the purpose of calculation of basic earning per share when an entity has an ordinary shares and participating equity instrument that are non-convertible into ordinary shares. Correct? So what need to be done? But how much profit given? 1 lakh. From this first we deduct preference dividend fixed, which is fixed. That is what? 5,000 into 5 per share, correct? That is how much? 25,000. Similarly, we'll also deduct equity dividend which is given over and above, which is given before what? Any surplus dividend. That is what? 2 per share. So that is 10,000 into what? 2, which is equal to 20,000. So what is the surplus profit? Bolo, 55,000 is the surplus profit. Understood? Now this surplus profit is available to both whom? Preference shareholders and equity shareholders, correct? So what they have written? Each preference shares then participate in additional ordinary dividend above rupees 2 at a rate of 50% of any additional dividend payable on what? Ordinary shares. Means can I say let additional dividend to equity shareholders be X per share. Are you getting what I am saying? Correct? X per share. Therefore, additional dividend to preference shareholders will be equal to what? 50% of X, that is 0.5 X. Correct? 0.5 X. Correct? Means, can I say an equation? Equation will be X into 5000 plus 0.5X into, sorry, this is 10,000 into 5,000, this is preference years, will be equal to 55,000, will be equal to 55,000. So where X is how much? Batao. Calculate it. How much? 4.4. So what is, this is equity dividend. So what is preference dividend? Preference dividend is 2.2. Okay. Therefore, what will be the EPS? For preference shares, for equity shares. But what is the normal dividend they are getting? Normal dividend what? 5 and 2. And what is the additional dividend? They are getting 2.2 and 4.4. So what is the EPS? This is 7.2, this is 6.4. And this one question I am expecting. Correct? Then, coming to question number 93. This also I am expecting. 93. An entity issued 2000 convertible bond at the beginning of year 1. Convertible bond means potential equity shares, means that is will be used for diluted earning per share. So I'm assuming थोड़ा you know diluted earning per share. ठीक है? The bonds have a 3-year term and issued at par with a face value of 1000 per bond, giving total proceed of rupees 20 lakh. Interest is payable annually in arrear at a nominal annual rate of interest of 6%. Each bond is converted at any time up to maturity into 250 ordinary shares. The entity has an option to settle the principal amount of convertible bond in ordinary shares or in cash. So they can convert in either ordinary shares or in cash. Correct? Understood? When the bonds are issued, the prevailing market interest rate of similar debt without conversion option is 9%. So this is a compound finance instrument and they have given market rate of interest. At the date of issue, the market price of one ordinary share is rupees 3. This is Bakwas point. Income tax is ignored. Income tax they have said ignore it. Profit attributable to ordinary equity holder is 10 lakh. Ordinary shares outstanding, this is not rupees, this is 12 lakh number. Ordinary shares outstanding 12 lakh number. Calculate basic and diluted earning per share. Okay, so first we need to calculate liability component and equity component as per India's 109 chapter. Correct. So we'll find out liability component. Liability component will be what? 2000. What is the face value? 1000. So 2000 into 1000 how much? How much lakh? 20 lakh. 20 lakh ka 6%. 20 lakh ka 6%. 1 lakh 20,000. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. How many year? 3 year. Nah. So 1 lakh 20,000. 1 lakh 20,000. 1 lakh 20,000. Correct? Plus will take what? Principal amount. Why? Because these are redeemable or convertible. So we'll take maximum liability. So plus what? 20 lakh. We'll discount at what? Present value at what rate? 9%. So what is the present value coming? Check karo. This will be 18,48,122. Correct. Understood? So liability component. We don't require equity component for this chapter, but if you want, calculate 20 lakh minus this will be equity component. जो भी है, ठीक है. Now, basic earning per share will be what? So they have given profit attributable to ordinary equity holder. They have given profit. Thank you very much. So what is the profit attributable? 10 lakh. What is the ordinary shares outstanding? How much? 12 lakh. What is the basic earning per share? Bolo. How much? 0.83. Correct. Now, diluted earning per share we need to understand. Yeah. So can I say what India's 33 says? Whenever this is the option, so for accounting treatment, so you have considered that it is what? A liability. Means it will not be converted. But for EPS will always calculate worst EPS. So we'll always assume that it will be converted into equity shares. You can't assume that it will not be converted into equity shares for diluted earning per share. So if it will be converted into equity shares, then only it will become dilutive now. Correct? So batao. So 12 lakh. So how many equity shares will increase? It will be 2000 into what? 250. This number of shares will increase. But once it will become equity shares, so you will not pay interest. So we need to calculate interest also. Interest will be on this amount at what rate? 6%, 9%. At nalaik 6% कौन बोल रहा है? अभी भी 6%. It is 9% ना. So plus 18,48,122 into what? 9% into this will be 1 minus T also. If you have done IPCC, remember APS. Why? Because of some tax advantage. 1 minus T. But here they said tax ignore karo, so we ignored it. So this point is not relevant. This become what? Diluted earning per share. Done. Yes, sir. This also we have understood. Understood. Over. This you understood? This much? Then 92. Question number 92. This is a question of option. Options. Now, पहले तो options समझ लो what they want to say. Now you know option, you know ESOP. You know ESOP. ठीक है. Now ESOP are always potential equity shares, that you know, because that will become equity shares in near future. Now suppose option will be issued equity shares at an exercise price of rupees, suppose 30. Correct. And current fair value is suppose 100. Fair value of shares is 100 or 90 better. 90. And number of options granted is 10,000. 10,000. Correct? Just try to understand what I'm saying. Everyone just try to understand what I'm saying. Suppose this is a balance sheet. This is asset 10 lakh. This is liability 2 lakh. And we have equity share capital 20,000 shares of rupees 10 each. So it will be 2 lakh. And reserve and surplus we have 8 lakh, 6 lakh. So balance sheet tallied. Balance sheet tallied. Okay. Now let us assume all assets and liabilities have fair value. Fair value. Let us assume all assets and liability have fair value. So can you say what is the total net asset? 10 minus 2 is equal to 8. Divided by number of shares 20,000. So बताओ what is the intrinsic value of shares? Intrinsic value of shares? How much? 8 lakh divided by 20,000? 8 lakh divided by 20,000. What is the intrinsic value of shares? You know intrinsic value. Therefore, I am not explaining. Because amalgamation you have done. Now, suppose now company want to issue shares at intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means fair value of today. So let's see what happen. Let's see what will happen. So we have issued another 20,000 shares at rupees 40. At rupees 40. Correct. So can you say asset will increase because cash will come? Cash will come. So asset will become 10 lakh and cash will come 20,000 into 40. How much? Another 8 lakh. Correct. Can I say equity share capital will now become 40,000 into 10? So 4 lakh. Reserve will remain 6 lakh, but securities premium will also come. Securities premium will be 20,000 to 30. How much? 6 lakh. And liability will remain 2 lakh. So can I say balance sheet will tally? Tally or not? Yes. Can I say whenever you are issuing shares at fair value, means intrinsic value, fair value, you can see your intrinsic value remains same. Now also intrinsic value is same. And you have received some consideration, means your net asset has increased. Your net asset has increased proportionately. Means, just try to understand. When your asset was 8 lakh, just try to understand what I'm just giving you concept behind this. Otherwise formula you'll forget. 8 lakh was the net asset. And suppose you are earning at 10%. So your profit was 80,000. And your number of shares was what? 20,000. Therefore EPS is equal to what? 80 by 20, how much? 4 per share. Correct? Understood. Means before issue of shares, your EPS was 4. But now your net asset become how much? 16 lakh. 16 lakh. Suppose your efficiency remains same. Means 10%. Your efficiency do not increase. So you will earn once again 10%. So it means now you are earning 1,60,000. So divide by 40,000. So your EPS remains same or not? 4. Means whenever shares are issued at fair value, so EPS will increase only due to efficiency, or EPS will decrease due to only inefficiency. EPS will not increase or decrease due to number of shares. Have you understood this point? Bolla. Means whenever shares are not issued at fair value, then there is a doubt. Doubt will come now. Understood what I am saying? Means whenever shares are not issued at fair value, means issued at discount, etc. So we are not receiving proper consideration, but number of shares increasing. Agree. Now option check karo. We have issued 10,000 option at an exercise price of 30, even though fair value is 40 suppose. So batao, how much cash we are receiving? How much cash? 30. But how many shares you have issued? 10,000. Means there is some inadequate consideration. In future you are going to issue shares which will be at inadequate consideration, but that will dilute earning per share or not? That will dilute earning per share. Therefore, option will be considered for diluted earning per share. Understood? But can I say only for those number of shares which are issued? Means can I say in this way, everyone? Ki 10,000 into 30 will get cash. Divide by 40, how much? 7,500. Means for 7,500 shares, we are getting full 40 rupees. But for 2,500 shares, we are getting anda. तो बता, out of 10,000, how much has dilutive component? Only 2,500 is dilutive. For 7,500, we are receiving entire consideration now. Only for 2,500 will not receive any consideration. Therefore, it will be used for what? Diluted earning per share. Understood? Means formula is what? To find out number of dilutive potential equity shares. I'm saying dilutive potential equity shares, which will dilute earning per share, is equal to what? The formula is what? 10,000 minus 10,000 into what? Exercise divided by average fair value. This will be given in the question. And this 2,500 will be used for calculating what? Diluted earning per share. Now we can do 92. Now we can do 92. Understood? I've just given the concept behind it. Huh? Okay. Because if I'll not give concept, then rectification formula you will forget in exam. Now I think you have understood why we are calculating this. So now you will not forget. Correct? So let us do. This question has been added in institute book so that can be asked. At 31st December 2007 and 2008, the issued share capital of entity consisted of 40 lakh ordinary shares of rupees 25 each. The entity has granted option that give holder right to subscribe for ordinary shares between 2006 and 2009 at rupees 70. 70 is what? Exercise price. Option outstanding on 31st December 2007 and 2008 is 6 lakh 30. Outstanding means which is not cancelled. This is uncancelled option. Correct. There were no grant, no exercise, no lapse of option during the year. Means 6 lakh 30,000 is outstanding throughout the year. Thank you very much. The profit after tax attributable to ordinary equity shareholders is 5 lakh and 6 lakh for 2 years. Average fair value, average market price means average fair value. I said the average fair value will be given the question. For first year 120, for second year 160. Why they have given this? To find out this. Now for 2007, for 2008. First we will calculate basic earning per share. So bata, what is the profit given? 6 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh and what? 6 lakh divided by what? Number of ordinary shares. Number of ordinary shares how much? How much? 40 lakh. 40 lakh, 40 lakh. So what is the basic earning per share? Basic earning per share is what? 0.13 and 0.15. 2 marks you got out of 5 marks. Basic we could have done now. Even though we don't know diluted. Don't leave any question. Do something. Some marks you'll get. Have you understood? Then diluted. So first we need to find out number of shares having dilutive component. The number of shares having dilutive component. So what is the total number of options? 6 lakh 30,000. 6 lakh 30,000. From this we'll deduct number of shares which are issued at fair value. Which are issued at fair value. So what we'll do? 6 lakh 30,000 into exercise price what? 70 divide by 120. How much? How much? 2 lakh? 3 lakh 60? 7,500. Similarly, we'll do for that year. That is 6 lakh 30 into 70 divide by 160. 2 lakh 75. 2 lakh 75. 2 lakh 75, 625. So what is the number of shares having dilutive component? This minus this, correct? Which is equal to how much? Bolo? 2 lakh 62,500. And how much? 3 lakh 54, 375. So this will be used for what? Diluted earning per share. Diluted earning per share. So what will be diluted earning per share? What is the profit? Batao. Profit is what? 6 lakh. Can I say due to conversion of option into equity, profit will not change because options are not entitled to any dividend, any interest. Correct? So plus nil I will say. Divided by 40 lakh plus what? 2 lakh 60,500. This is 5 lakh, sorry. 5 lakh. And second year it will be 6 lakh plus nil plus what? 40 lakh plus 3 lakh 54,375. Done. Understood. One last question which is given in the newly added in the book. Question 91. All questions are newly added. One more question is added for consolidation that I have not taken here. That you can do by your own if you understood. At 30th June 2001, the issued share capital of an entity consisted of what? 15 lakh ordinary shares of rupees 1 each. On 1st October 2001, entity issued 12 lakh 50,000 of 8% convertible loan stock for cash at par. So this is what convertible loan means, potential equity shares. Each of rupees 100 nominal value of loan stock may be converted at any time during the year ended 2006 to 2009 into the number of ordinary shares set out below. Means if they are converted on 30th June, 135 shares will be given per ordinary per debenture. If 30th June, so they will be given, so for each 100 rupees nominal value, they will get that much. 30th June 130, 30th June 2008, 125, 30th June 2009, 120. So can I say this depend upon when they are converting? Now question arises, to calculate diluted earning per share, which number will take? The number which will dilute the earning per share worst, which will maximum dilute the earning per share. So maximum number of shares will dilute the earning per share more. So we should take 135 to 120. 135. Correct? Understood? So we'll take worst scenario. If it is converted, what can be the worst scenario? Therefore, we'll take 135 number of shares. If the loan stock are not convertible by 2009, they would be redeemed at par. Okay. There are two different ways of assessing this instrument under Ind AS 32. The conversion option to convert to a number of shares which varies only with time could be viewed as either an option to convert to a variable of fixed number of shares and recognized as either liability or equity. This bakwas point, chhod do. This illustration assumes that return equity conversion option is accounted for as a derivative liability and mark to mark through profit or loss. If you remember, I have done one embedded derivative concept. Embedded derivative concept. Correct? Understood? So here, can I say, one convertible debenture has been given some option. So can I say once again some embedded derivative is there? Embedded derivative is there, correct? So embedded derivative means it will be accounted at fair value through profit or loss. And whenever fair value through profit or loss, so some gain or loss will be transferred to PL. That they are saying. The changes in the option fair value reported in first year and second year amounted to rupees this and this. Means changes in fair, there was some changes in the fair value. So it means increase in gain, means there is what? Increase in fair value, the 2500 is gain and 2650 is a gain. It is assumed that there is no tax consequences of this. No tax consequences means no tax effect. No tax effect of this. Jabardast question diya. Now if you will not do this, you will not be able to do in exam. Correct na? Pata nahi from where they have taken this question. Understood? Because they can't create this type of question. So I have seen many international book. I have not find any book this question. So now I need to find out that book from this question has been taken. Understood now? So from there they can take any other question also. So it means the profit before interest and fair value movement and taxation for the year is itna and itna. The profit before interest, before fair value movement and before tax is itna. Calculate basic and diluted earning per share. Let us do it fast. So this will be my last question for this chapter. 2002 and 2003. But what is given in the question? 8,25,000 and 8,95,000. Understood? Profit given in the question. This is before interest. We should deduct interest minus interest. Minus interest. Correct? Bolo. So it was issued on 30th June. 30th June they have issued. And year end is 31st. Year end is what? Well, anyway, year end is given 30th June only. But they have issued convertible loan at 1st October. So from 1st October to 30th June 2002, how many month? How many months? 9 months. First year interest will be on 9 months. One thing, whenever they have not given discount, premium, etc., so EIR should be equal to what? Agreed rate. However, because this is convertible, there should be any market rate of interest. But they have not given market rate of interest. So for simplicity from exam point, we will take what? 8%. 8%. So I am just doing as per solution. So batao. 12,50,000 into what? 8% for how many months? 9 by 12. How much? How much? 75,000. But for the next year, it will be full year. Full year now. So 8% to 12 by 12, how much? 1 lakh. Correct. And changes in the fair value of embedded derivative. So they have given amounted to losses. So these are losses. So changes in the fair value losses 2,500 and 2,650. Correct. This will become profit before tax. Can you give me profit before tax? 2 lakh. How much? 7 lakh. 92,000. 7 lakh 47,500 and 7 lakh 92,350. Correct? Understood? Now we'll say tax at what rate? 33%. Correct? Understood? But this will have no tax consequences, they have said. So we'll calculate tax on this only. Correct? So can you give 8 lakh 25 minus 75,000 into 33%, how much? 2,47,500 and 2,62,350. So this become profit for the period, that is coming 5 lakh and 5 lakh 30,000 divided by number of ordinary shares. So they have given number of ordinary shares 15 lakh. So divide by 15 lakh and 15 lakh. So बताओ what is basic earning per share? Basic earning per share. Earning per share will be what? 0.33 and 0.35. This you understood, basic earning per share. Because if they will ask, same to same question will come. Because they can't alter this type of question. Now diluted. For diluted. So first we need to adjust net profit. So but how much profit is given? 5 lakh. We'll start with 5 lakh and 5 lakh 30,000. First we'll add interest, but interest will be added net of tax. So interest will be added net of tax. So can you add interest net of tax? Means into 67%. We'll add back now. Add back interest net of tax. So how much will add back, batao? Means you'll do what? This into 60, 33%. Now the 1 minus 33 is what? 67. So into 67%, how much coming? बोलो 75,000 करो ना रे 52,000 52 I have written 50,000 250 and here 67,000. And we'll add back also loss, fair value loss, but that was not tax effect. So we'll add full. How much will add, batao? 2,500 and 2,650. So how much coming? Five lakh 50, 750 and 5 lakh. Answer is given wrong. In this suggested answer is wrong. 5 lakh? This is wrong. Second year you are giving. 5 lakh 99 650. In this what they have done, this to this also they have applied tax effect. So suggested answer is wrong. Understood? Suggested answer is wrong. And this is why it will be not net of tax. Because there was no tax consequence. How can you apply tax effect? So suggested answer is wrong. You can't do wrong in exam now. Can you do wrong in exam? If you would have done by your own, whether you would have done net of tax? No. Correct na? I think you are with me. Correct? Okay. Or if you want to follow suggested answer, follow. That is your choice. Because today only someone says कि marks has been deducted, even though they have done correct. If suggested answer is wrong, क्या करें बताओ? पढ़ाएं कि क्या करें? Now we need to also find out number of shares for diluted earning per share. So how much we have taken for basically 15 lakh and 15 lakh. So बताओ how much number of shares will increase? We'll take How many shares will take? 135 now. 135. So how many shares? So it will be 12 lakh 50,000. 12 lakh 50,000 divided by 100 into what? 135. How much coming? 16 lakh 87,500. But can you say first year these are outstanding only for 9 months? So we'll do 9 by 12 for first year. But we'll take full for what? Second year. It was outstanding for 9 months, so weight will be given for 9 months. So how much coming for first year? How much? 12 lakh 65, 625. And this will be 6 lakh 87,500. This will become number of shares. Then you can calculate what? Diluted earning per share. Understood? So this by this will be diluted earning per share. I think you have understood. So this is my expectation as per EPS is concerned. But there are many other questions also given that you do by your own. Correct? But from this chapter I can't expect much because from last 3 attempts they have not asked any question. Because they also know that for this some time is required to student for this chapter. I don't know whether they will ask for in this attempt or not. Now, so apart from India's 7 and India's 34 and CSR, I have done all. I have done all. India's 101 I will send you PDF. That because I can't teach because I know you will not be able to react in classroom for that. Okay. CSR you want? That. CSR to what? Only reading. India's 34 you want? India's 34 very easy. It's very easy. Read it, you will understand. Nothing to teach. India's 34 interim finance reporting 5 questions are there. From that only question will come. Okay. So can I conclude that I have covered all the points? Can I conclude? So from my point of view, 90% I have covered. 10% I have not covered. So if I can add 40 marks also to you in your weighted average marks, then also it is job done. Means if you can score because of me 30 plus 40 marks, so my job done. Correct now? Because from 5 days I can expect this much only from my side. See, if I can add 30 plus 40 plus, it can become 80 plus if you practice. If you practice all question of SM, all question practice 2 times. And suppose you are not able to understand some question now, WhatsApp is there. I am available in WhatsApp. Correct now. Dal do message. This is my obligation to answer you. I will send you Telegram group also for my only student. That also you join because now you are my student only. Because 6 days relationship बहुत होता है. Correct? To create what? One relationship. So of course you are my student only. So you can join that group. That group I give only to my student because that I am free. I first see Telegram group of my student. Then I see WhatsApp if there is any some other doubts are there. There are some students who are not using Telegram, etc. For that, WhatsApp is also there. But WhatsApp, I don't see much. Okay? So Telegram group that I will give. So there you can trouble me at any time till you become CA. Till you become CA. Okay? Thank you very much. I enjoyed these 5 days very much. Believe me, it was a nice experience for me. In Guntur, how to teach. Correct? I think you have also liked the classes. Correct? One more request, just in WhatsApp, whenever you have free time, just give a feedback of this class because for the first time I am teaching outside what? Hyderabad. Crash batch I am saying. Full batch I have taught, crash batch. Correct? So I want feedback also. Feedback can be anything. It can be positive, it can be negative, your choice. Whatever you give, I will accept it. Sometimes positive feedback is less important than negative feedback, because when you give negative feedback, we can improve it. But positive feedback gives motivation. Positive feedback give motivation. Correct now. So whatever you have liked or disliked about the classes that you can write down, whatever you will say, I will accept it as an improvement only. As an improvement, okay? Because we are human being, we always improve. Every day we are improving ourselves. So we are human being, we are born to do mistakes. We are born to do mistake, but if we realize that mistake as soon as possible, we can rectify. Therefore, there was a rectification chapter in CPT, which we have ignored. Correct? My blessings will be always with you. My blessing will be always with you. My blessing is that you become CA in this attempt only, with a very high marks in all the subject, especially in FR, especially in FR. But one request is that whenever you passed exam or whenever you score good marks or whatever mark, just intimate me. I will be also feel happy. ठीक है ना? So whatever marks you are getting, and suppose after exam also you want to discuss with me, whatever discussion I'll be available. Correct now? So don't worry. This is short-term relationship, but for long-term period. For long-term period. Correct? Thank you very much.